Hi, I'm Shauna Fischhaber with VA Disability Group. Today I wanted to talk to you about how to file for dependency and why is it important to file for dependency for your VA benefits. There are quite a few reasons that you might want to consider making sure that your dependency is properly updated with the VA. The first reason is that it provides you with an increased monthly income. I'll make sure to have a link in the description box below that demonstrates just how much each dependent increases your monthly. Now keep in mind, in order to qualify for the increased monthly rating, you do need to have a minimum 30% rating with the VA. If you're a 100% permanent and total veteran, having your dependents listed also opens up additional benefits for you. This is something that we have a video about, is all those ancillary benefits that open up to you with the 100% rating, but we'll just quickly touch on this here in this video as well. If you're at 100%, your dependents qualify for the DEA program. They qualify for CHAMP VA, which is an insurance program. Additionally, if something were to happen to the veteran, survivor benefits will also kick in. Another reason that it's going to be very important that your dependency is accurate is because if it's not, and you have a dependent that has, let's say, aged out of the program, you have grown children and they're still listed as a dependent, you could be incurring a payment that is owed back to the VA that they will have to recoup once they realize that error. It is incumbent upon the veteran to make sure that their dependency is accurate with the VA. It is not the responsibility of the VA to verify this. So make sure your dependency is correct. Okay, so now let's cover who qualifies as a dependent. First of all, a spouse. You can claim children that are up to 18 years old. Children between the ages of 18 to 23 are also eligible if they're attending higher education. This higher education is not just college, it could include vocational education as well. Children that are above 18 but are permanently disabled can also be counted as a dependent. You will need to provide proofs of this, so medical records showing this, maybe mental health records, whatever it is, whatever type of a disability is that is causing your child to rely on you. You might need to provide that additional evidence to the VA. Veterans, you can also claim dependent parents. What qualifies as a dependent parent? So this means that you are directly caring for them and their income and net worth is below a specific limit that is set by the law. So in other words, they're financially dependent upon you. That's who's eligible. So how do you file for dependency? Well, the easiest way is going to be online through your verified va.gov account or ID.me account. So once you're logged in, you can navigate to the View or Change Dependents page. And this is going to be specifically for adding a spouse, removing an ex-spouse, adding children, or removing children. You can update all of this information. You can upload any supporting documents that you may need, birth certificates, divorce decrees, marriage licenses, anything like that. The great thing about the online option is that it's usually processed within 48 hours of entering the information. The other option is to complete paper copies of the documents needed, and you can either mail it in or fax those documents in. It is going to take longer to process, but if you do not have an online account, then this is a great way to do it. Okay, so what documents are you going to need? Well, for any updates to dependency, the form that you're going to need is the VA Form 21-686C. The form you're looking for children between the ages of 18 to 23 that are attending school is Form 21-674. To complete this form, you're going to have to contact your child's school, and there's a section that they'll need to verify and complete with you. Institutions of higher learning are going to have a VA liaison that you can work with in order to get these forms completed. If you're claiming a dependent parent, the form that you are looking for that you will have to submit along with your 686C is VA Form 21P-509, Statement of Dependency of Parents. Here's some examples of supporting documents that you may need to submit: a marriage license, a divorce decree, perhaps a death certificate, You may need to include transcripts for the school that your child is attending. You might need to provide those medical records for dependent children above the age of 18. You might need a doctor's statement that clearly describes the condition and the onset of that condition before the age of 18. So really briefly, I just want to go over the type of information that you will be needing to include. We'll start with the 686C. Information that you're going to want to have on deck is dates of birth, social security numbers, the date of your marriage, place of your marriage, and type of ceremony. If you or your spouse have previous marriages, they are going to want to know that. Why? Why do they want to know about your previous marriage history and your spouse's previous marriage history? Well, if you're the veteran, and you had a previous spouse, they can't double pay you for an ex-spouse and a current spouse. So perhaps you've accidentally left an ex-spouse listed. They need to be notified that that ex-spouse should have been removed. Why do they need to know about your spouse's previous marriages? Well, perhaps they were married to a veteran prior and they're still listed as a dependent for that ex-spouse. They need to be removed from that. So it's making sure that on the back end, all of that accounting is taking place and the same person is not being claimed by multiple people. With that in mind, you're going to need to be able to provide information about previous spouses to include name, date of marriage, location of that marriage, date of the termination, whether that was by death, divorce, annulment, and the location and date that that occurred. You will need to provide that information for each ex. For children under the age of 18, you'll need name, social security, date of birth, place of birth. If they do not live with you at least half of the time, if you share custody, or if their main custody is with an ex, then you will need to provide that address. Children that you can claim, like what child's status is what they refer to it as. Biological children, that bracket of 18 to 23-year-olds that are in school, which you will also need to file that 21-674. We'll get to that in a minute. Adopted children, a child permanently incapable of self-support, a child that was previously married, and stepchildren can all be claimed. So this is also the form that you would use to report a divorce, to report a death, or to report that your child no longer qualifies for dependency. If your college student drops out, stops attending for any reason, you will need to notify the VA of that as well. So let's move on to the 21-674. This is the one that you will be submitting for your child who is attending school in between the ages of 18 to 23. The veterans information will be included, the students information, and then school attendance information. So this is where you will likely want to get your school advisor, the veterans liaison, involved to help you complete this. It does include the type of program they're enrolled in, when payments began, if they've attended school continuously, is it accredited, dates they're beginning, when they're expecting to graduate, all that sort of information. On page 2 of the 674 in section 4, you're only going to complete this if you have received disability pension or survivor's pension. Make sure you complete every single block, even if that means that you just put a 0 in that space. Lastly, you're going to want to sign in section 6. The veteran will sign if the dependent is below the age of 18. The student can sign if they are above the age of 18. If you are claiming a dependent parent, the form you are looking for is the 21-509. And on here, you will need to provide an account of your dependent parent's net worth. You will also need to provide any income information that they have and any expenses that your parents have. On page 2 of the 509, this first section here is regarding dependents. Item 9A is to be completed by a parent if the veteran
veteran is deceased, while item 9B is to be completed by the veteran. Items 10A, B, C, and D are to be completed whenever the parents have a dependent that also resides with them. And lastly, the parent must sign and date the form, as well as the veteran that is claiming the parent as dependents.
This form would be submitted, again, in addition to the 686C. So keep in mind, you can get assistance with filing this with a VSO officer locally. If you were able to take advantage to the online submission, you should be able to check your status through your va.gov account under My Profile or Dependents. All right, well, that really wraps it up. I will include a few links to some resources on our website. As I said, you veterans with the 100% also have some additional benefits for your dependents. There's also state benefits for you 100% veterans for dependents. So make sure to check those resources out on our website. Thanks for watching. Make sure to support our channel. Liking the video is a great way to support us. Let us know that you appreciate the content. Please leave a comment. It really helps us to know what kind of information that you would appreciate from us. Make video suggestions. We love it. Have a good one. Bye.